Hi. Now you know we're going up to the Arctic later this year, so we made quite a few preparations to the van to make sure it was ready for those conditions. I just want to talk you through a few of the small modifications we made. First one here on the front, this is a sheet of quite thick rubber which is attached here, rolled up. We just undo those clips, unfurl it, replace the clips at the bottom to hold it down, and what that does is reduces the airflow through the radiator grille, so that if we're in really cold conditions the wind doesn't go through and cool the engine too much, so that the engine can stay at its proper operating temperature, and it just rolls up again when we don't need it. Right, another aspect of winterizing the van for our trip up north is to do with the batteries. So the battery is fixed just to the floor of the back of the van here, and obviously we've used an aluminium sheet for the base of the garage, but the floor does have an inch of Celotex insulation underneath it on top of the van's metal floor, and then a sheet of 1/2 inch plywood as well. So there is quite a distance, so it doesn't get too cold. But I just wanted to do the best I could for insulating the battery. So I made these additional brackets which lift the base of the battery by about 15 millimeters from the floor, and then filled that gap with this Armatex foam insulation, which is this stuff. Really nice quality, really high kind of thermal value, however these things are measured. So that really gives the batteries the best chance they've got of being insulated from the floor. Now then, one of the things that I'm sure the first thing people think when they see our van parked up at some splendid beauty spot is, how can I subscribe to these people's YouTube channel? So in order to help people with that, we've got these little handy dandy stickers which we're going to put here on the side of the van. They use a little QR code, so people can just simply scan that, or it's even got NFC, which is the same technology as contactless card payments. You just touch your phone on it and it links to our website. It's an amazing facility. You're okay because you can just click the little button and subscribe to our channel, but for anybody who sees us out and about, this is going to be amazing. So this is the aerial for the NFC part of it, and it just goes on here. Is that straight?
Yeah.
There we go. So then somebody just takes their mobile phone, put it on there, and boom. Now the tyres, so these are BF Goodrich All-Terrain K02s. We had these from when we started the van because we knew we wanted decent tyres, particularly that they're rated for winter use, so they're kind of all-season tyres. They say here M&S, mud and snow, and they've got that 3-peak mountain snowflake symbol, which means they're legal for these conditions, but also that they're pretty capable. Let's come around to the back now. Now on the back here, you know, we normally have our bicycles, but we've chosen not to bring them on this trip because the conditions just aren't right for using bikes. So I fitted ski carriers. Now these are the type of ski carriers that you'd have on a roof rack, but I made these aluminium frames to fix them to our mounting bracket on the back here, and all they do is simply unfold like this. You take your skis, put them on there, and then these clamp on and you lock them, and I'll put some safety straps around as well just for added security, and there you go, skis carrying on the back of the van really neatly. Now our plan isn't to just drive around like this. That's really just for if we've got a short journey between ski resorts or from where we're parking and the ski resort, just so that we don't have to get them up on the roof in the roof box every time we move. And they come down that easily. Right now, heaters. So we've already got a Espar air diesel heater fitted to the van, so that warms up the cabin with nice warm air, keeps us nice and toasty. But for this trip I've added an additional hydronic diesel heater. I'd already got a system fitted which heats our hot water, which is a calorifier heater, which takes the heat from the engine's cooling system by teeing into the cabin heater circuit. So that brings hot water pipes from the engine underneath the van into the back and through a coil in our hot water cylinder that gives us hot water all the time. But what I've done is I've augmented that system by fitting a diesel heater into that circuit, and also by adding a heater into the garage area, which is a matrix with a fan on it. So underneath the van I've fitted this additional hydronic diesel heater, tapped into the same diesel line as the Espar heater, so it uses the same fuel supply, and I'll show you now underneath the van where that's fitted. So here is the hydronic heater. It's a Webasto Thermotop, so it sits there neatly next to the fuel tank, and with its exhaust coming out here next to the exhaust from the diesel air heater. You see the coolant lines that run up and down the van, which take that hot water up from the engine and down to the garage area. Right, now these are the heaters in the garage. Now these are the coolant pipes which come from the engine's heating circuit, bringing that hot water through our calorifier, which is the hot water heater. This is the expansion tank for that heater, and so that gives us loads of hot water after just 15 minutes of driving. It's absolutely piping hot. So the additional thing I've done for this trip is fitted this heater, which has got a matrix inside. That hot water runs through it, and the fan here blows nice warm air through these ducts. This one here takes it through there and into the shower, and then this one comes over this side to heat up the area where the batteries are, and that keeps this area absolutely toasty warm. It's really nice, and as I say, it's free heat when we're driving along from the engine, so it's super efficient. Now, have you ever been working somewhere in the back of your Sprinter van, and you're working like this, and all of a sudden a gust of wind blows the door and it whacks you on the back of the leg? Yeah, well, I have. That's a lesson I learned the hard way. It's really bad. So what I've done to overcome that, I fitted these little eyelets up here, and I made this aluminium bar which hooks on here and here, and there you go. There's no way those doors can close accidentally now. So just a little modification that makes it that little bit safer and nicer to use.
This next piece, I think Ben wasn't too sure whether we should show you this or not, but I'm really chuffed with this little thing here that Ben's made. So I'm just going to show you this. So the rail there, you can see that? I've got a rail in the bathroom area. Now that's new. Now it's not for shower curtain. It's actually a drying rail. We've got ski coats here and ski trousers, which might come back wet and not great to have hanging around in the van. So a real bonus is that things get really dry in here, and I didn't appreciate that to start with.
Now, one more modification we made was to add these mobile phone holders to the dashboard. They're from Quadlock. They're super solid, adjustable, and they use a magnetic mount which also charges the phone through the through the mag mount charging system. They just work vertical or horizontal, and you can see your videos as you're driving along in beautiful landscape.
Another change that I asked Ben to help me out with was a bit more counter space on the kitchen work surface. We'd had an air fryer which is fabulous, but as you can see, it's pretty big and taking up quite a bit of space. So I was lacking space, what with the cooker and the sink and things. So Ben actually created an additional work surface with a rather nifty flap. I love those clips. And I can then protect the surface by putting on this cut down silicone mat. So I can actually put the drainer on there, or I can put some hot things on there. So once cooked, put some hot stuff. So I'm really chuffed, and it just is so simple to get rid of, just with the clips, and boom.
Okay, a couple of vehicle related things to make sure of when we're up in these parts. Extreme screen wash. This is good down to minus 28 degrees C, so that should be able to help keep our screen nice and clear. And engine coolant, so I did a complete change of all the engine coolant to nice fresh brand new, good down to minus 36 degrees, so that should keep everything in tip-top condition, safe and sound. And I will just add, this stuff, everything that we've shown you, none of this is sponsored. We just bought this with our own money, so that we're properly prepared for this trip. While we're on that, if anybody does want to sponsor us with anything, then please feel free to hit us up. One last addition, snow chains. Super important to have with you at all times in case you get caught out. Now, I won't show you the whole fitting of them, but there they are. They go around the driving wheels, obviously, of your van, and yeah, get you out of trouble if you're lucky. But one thing that's quite important is make sure you know how to fit them in nice, warm, dry conditions, because you can guarantee the weather's going to be hideous when you actually need them, and that's not the time to be learning how they work. Right then, so I think that gives you a good idea of some of the modifications we've made to this van to prepare it for our Arctic adventures. We've got a couple of other videos which are more detailed on the toilet change to composting toilet, and also the heating that we put on our grey water pipes underneath the van and insulation to keep them safe in the weather. Now, some of you eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed that we might actually already be in Norway. Now have a look at this, where we are now. So don't forget, stay tuned, coming up very, very soon, our videos from our Arctic adventure.